things tonight and take a lot home with us and see how God brought the Israelites out of Egypt, correct? That's what it's all about.
Yep.
So, with no further ado, here's Ken.
Okay, well, thanks for letting me come and teach here. I'm going to stand. I'm used to standing in front of sometimes. Yeah, Passover is traditionally counted as a Jewish, but actually it's God. It says going to Leviticus chapter 23. It starts outlining God's appointed times, and it says these are the Lord's appointed times. It says they're the Lord's appointed times, and we always think about them as Israel's holidays, but they're always actually God's holidays. If you go into Exodus, when God gives the first instructions to Israel, to Moses, about the Passover, he says this is the Lord's Passover. And the thing about Passover is that it celebrates, it's a historical event celebrating the deliverance of Israel from Egypt. But you can tell, I mean, when you go through the scriptures, we're all here because we believe in the fact that God is alive and that he sent Yeshua to atone for our sins. We're all here for that reason. That means we believe that that really happened. We believe that that was really true, that we believe that God raised Yeshua from the dead on the third day. But all those things happened during Passover. It wasn't a coincidence that Passover was betrayed and executed. The reality is God had planned these things since the beginning of time. And if you go into Paul, it's the Corinthians, one of the letters of Paul, who talks specifically, he said, the Messiah, our Passover, has been offered. So he calls Yeshua as the Passover lamb. He refers to him as the Passover. And that's exactly right. The point is that he fulfilled, in a sense, and I'm not saying fulfilled because that means that they've ended. I believe that they've just begun, actually. He fulfilled Passover, but when you look at the Passover that first one in Egypt, Israel was enslaved by a cruel taskmaster, Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and they were in bondage. And that's a picture, the way God sets things up. You can tell with the Bible, because historicals that tell future prophetic. Even though they're a story of something that passed, it has a prophetic significance. And for Passover, the prophetic significance is about redemption in general, the redemption from sin. What caused the Passover slavery in the first place? The reason why Pharaoh enslaved Egypt was because of sin. They were evil. Pharaoh was afraid he was going to lose the service of the Israelites, and he was afraid that they were not going to be set free, and he was using them for slavery to build his own cities, for selfishness. And you look at that and you can start seeing all these pictures, and as you start studying these things, and we'll see them. What we're going to do tonight is, I'm going to do the first bit, Isaiah's going to pick up, and then but this is just an introduction here. I'm just going to give a little bit of before I actually say that. But the point is that Yeshua is our Passover offering. And, this Passover Seder, God told us, he called Israel to commemorate this for generations to come. And he said this is a covenant meal, basically. It's this ceremony, Yeshua. Remember it so much, teach it to your children, and remember it and remember the covenant, because God brought Israel out. And tell your children about that and pass that information on and continue to celebrate it. And that commandment has been taken up. It's still being celebrated to this day. And as a matter of fact, Yeshua was celebrating it. When we talk about what's known as the Last Supper was actually a Passover Seder. If you go and you read the Gospels, you start reading through the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they'll tell you right towards the end of it, Yeshua is saying, or Jesus, his Hebrew name is Yeshua.